So, what happens when you have a child, when you have a young boy who is quite inexperienced, doesn't really know how to do things, but still he's got that burning ambition in his eyes, or her eyes, and he is determined to make it regardless of what. He's willing to pay for coaching, pay for advice in order to make it up there. You know, I think I know the answer. This is what happens. Album like this get released. And why do I make this kind of analogy? Is because I think that this first album by Dream Theater is a very ambitious yet inexperienced, very immature. It lacks the depth of future releases. But anyway, I think this album has been a stepping stone for the career. They had to release it in order to grow. They had to make a misstep in order to be back on track. So this album was absolutely necessary for their career. Now, I kind of avoided it for a long time because I didn't really want to listen to it, let alone review it. And the reason behind that is because I thought that, as I mentioned before, this album is quite immature. It's not as enjoyable as their masterpieces, or especially the album that came right after this one. But I thought I had to give it another go. I thought I had to give it another chance to grow on me. I thought I had to see the hidden potential on this one, so I gave it repeated listens, and it kind of grew on me. Not to the point of other releases, but still it grew on me a bit. I think this album has some good songs, like first one called A Fortune in Lies, and also the YTSE Jam. I thought these two songs are the strongest ones, and actually the band played those two in their last tours respectively. And there's a reason behind that, because obviously they are the most well thought and catching tunes of the album. I mean, apart from that, I don't see much happening here. The album is sounds quite cheesy at times, and Charlie Dominich's voice doesn't really help to remove that label. Even though I think he's a good singer, he's got a great vocal range. I don't think he was meant for Dream Theater at the time. But again, as I mentioned before, I'm sure that you have to make some missteps. You gotta go astray sometimes in your path to greatness in order to learn from those mistakes and you know, go back in track. I think Dream Theater realized that, and even in some interviews that I watched lately, they referred to this album as the birth of the band, you know, the immaturity, the one that taught them quite a lot when it comes to recording in the studio, writing songs, because even the songs sound quite undeveloped. You know, that greatness and epicness that Dream Theater have us accustomed to is not here. You know, it doesn't live here at all. Yes, you can see a lot of glimpses of technicality. Obviously, if you compare this album to lots of other bands, it's still quite high in the realms of technicality and, you know, proficiency. But when it comes to songwriting, there isn't much to offer here. Again, I don't see this as a bad album at all. I see this as a gateway for the great albums that were about to come from this band. And yeah, that's it. You know, sometimes in life you gotta make the wrong moves in order to make the right ones later on. So thanks for watching, guys, and keep rocking.